614, what's going on? This is Wallo Reall. This is a podcast called Worth Overcoming, Rebuilding, Teaching Health. Today I got my brother James Hill. He's here representing fathers in front of bars. This is my first segment of the father figure segment. We normally do our mom manifestation of motherhood. That's typically what we do. But this is my first segment dealing with the father, dealing with a dad, dealing with a black man that's a part of the community from a mental health standpoint to so many other aspects of the streets, our lives, our business, and so many other roles. My brother James Hill, welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, I'm Gary sitting next to you, man. We're Gary to get into this. And I just want you to maybe tell them what your organization is called, what's it all about, why you done it, and just maybe break down a couple things about who you are and what you represent.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So my name is James Hill. I'm the CEO for Fathers in Front of Bars. We created the nonprofit organization 5 years ago due to my brother-in-law, Tasco J. Williams, being incarcerated. He's serving 23 years in prison. So we created the organization because I used to be a school guidance counselor. And in the past, I was like, when you have a loved one serving time, the whole family's serving time. So he been serving all that time, and we've been getting the brunt of the things to do. So like Christmas, New Year's, just different things he wants to get done. He has to reach out to us, and we have took on that financial burden as well. So when you got a loved one doing time, the whole family's doing that time.
So is that why you started the organization, because the individual went to prison?
Yes.
And this is
my brother-in-law.
This your brother-in-law?
Yeah.
And what was his name again?
Tasco Williams.
And how much time you got left?
He has a total of 12 years. So they just denied his clemency hearing. So if we don't beat the charges, he'll have to serve them next 12 years. He'll come out at the age of 62. And he went in at the age 30.
And there's so many stories, I'm sure, that I'm attacking with different people I interviewed is going to tell about so many different men, particularly black men from where we come from. We witness a lot of incarceration, mental incarceration, physical incarceration. I don't even know if it's a such thing as spiritual incarceration, but I'm sure there's many aspects to where we fall in the lines of making poor choices and decisions in our life, not knowing what to do and why we've done it or how we even ended up in that situation. For you and your show, for instance, as far as being a father figure, black man in the United States of America, what's your main objective and goal in the mental health field as far as serving the community of our black men and females?
Okay, so a little bit about me. I have my degree in marriage and family therapy. I also have my degree as far as a licensed school counselor. I believe the mental health is a big piece, dealing with our youth, our black boys and our black young ladies. That mental health is a big barrier. So we provide case management. We also have some counseling services for the youth and adults as well. So we really believe in that mental health piece.
Well, me also been in the mental health field, qualified mental health professional. It's funny, it starts to rattle my mind when I keep saying that word qualified, because what makes a person qualified? Like, what makes me and you feel like we're so qualified? Because accountability, number one, we did it not for money. We really didn't get into this field to be like, oh, I made this big salary. No, it was really engaging with these people, especially these young people that's been neglected from trauma. I mean, what most people don't realize is, for mental health, this is deeper than just, you see that boy over there on the corner standing there and his shoulder jumping, or he's look like he's talking to himself at the bus stop and yelling and screaming. Because once you meet him and you get his medical records, for instance, then you find out what he really done been through, because who his mom and his father was. It challenges us, and I mean that because when you meet a person and you have a program and you pull him into building a relationship with him. See, for me it's different because I build relationships with my young people. Stay out the streets, know your value, know your worth. Overcoming, rebuilding, teaching, help. that's what my segment's really about. How I can help a young person make a positive choice, a positive choice, a positive choice in a row.
Right. Instead of that negative.
Well, because it's the society, we're fueled around negativity. Like, so when you say your organization is called Fathers in Front of Bars.
Right. We're not behind bars. We're in front of them.
So if you're in front of these bars, give me an example on how you use your organization to help them. So if a young man, I say, man, I'm gonna be out of town for 3 weeks, James. I met this young brother, man. He was out there in the hood, and we picked him up and we gave him a place to stay. He ain't had nowhere to go. He was very bright. He can rap real good. He can write real good. Looked like he had a skill in acting and sports. I mean, can you help me with this guy? What can you do for him? Is there something that you could do for him?
Well, yeah, we definitely can, but the first thing is it's about the relationship. So when working with any individual, it's about that relationship. So if y'all guys can connect or gel, I mean, that's the biggest thing. If you can develop a relationship with that student or that adult, that's worth the battle. That's when they're going to know that they can depend on you, they can trust you, and that you're going to come through for them. You know, a lot of people have been brokenhearted, a lot of broken promises, things like that. So it's about the relationship first and foremost. So that's what we would actually do is develop the relationship. Like I said before, I'm not far from behind them because I had to do a couple of choices before and I just didn't get caught. I made some bad choices, but I didn't get caught.
Well, so I think that's all of us, man. I mean, of course, Wallo be the hip hop artist, the rapper, the hustler off the trunk, always selling items and goods. Of course, I've not always been the person that was thinking I was going to be on a television show or a commercial or radio, and people was going to cling to me from so much positivity. Because I'm quite sure when I first started rapping, me dropping bars about how am I supposed to achieve when I'm surrounded by these drug dealers, addicts and fiends, bums and thieves, even if the selling the weed doesn't benefit me. I would have never thought they was going to legalize weed or trees or flowers. There's no way I would have thought in my young years of trying to hustle and grind, and we know we breaking the law, but they selling dope, they selling powder, they selling cocaine and crack. I ain't want no parts of that. Coming from the history of, you know, mom, dad, aunts and uncles been affiliated with this drug that I really wanted to stay away from, I wouldn't have ever thought, okay, I'm gonna use my music, I'm gonna use these lyrics to help me to where I am today. I use my rhymes right to this day to be the promoter, the marketer, the lyrical guru, hip hop genius, whatever I'm labeled as. It's just scary, man, that you can really believe in yourself enough, and that's what's on the wall. You see, believe, dream. I guess dreams is a little deeper than believing in yourself, because did you ever think this is where you was gonna be, doing something for other people that look like you, that been through some things that you could have been through, like
yeah. Well, yeah.
First of all, let's go back now.
Go ahead.
Where are you from?
So I'm from here, Columbus, Ohio.
And what high school did you go to?
Went to Beechcroft High School. I went to Duxbury Park Elementary. Went to Franklin Park Middle School.
So did you go to college?
Yeah, I went to Wright State University.
And what was your major? What did you go to school?
Wright State. I didn't finish school.
So what would you go for?
Business. Then I went to Wilberforce, graduated with organizational management. Then I went and got my master's from the University of Dayton.
So we got a master's degree graduate here. Now I only got my associate, so let me give you some love. We got a master's degree brother in the building. So you got your degree in organizational
management. Yeah, and it was a challenge. So I graduated from Beechcroft High School. I could not do simple fractions when I graduated high school. They put me in remedial classes at Wright State University. I struggled throughout college. Went to Wright State University, and that was my first time being around a lot of white people. So I was intimidated going into college. Never did college visits. Family members involved in a lot of gangs. That's all I knew growing up. So when I seen the fraternities and sororities, I thought they were gangs. And people would laugh at me, but my exposure was just in this radius, and that was it. So that's why I wanted that change. That's why I became a guidance counselor, to expose our children at a younger age to the possibilities.
See, our experiences, I believe that's what everything's about. Your experience. Now, was your father in your life?
Yeah, my father's in my life. My dad's a retired school teacher from Columbus City. My mother, she worked for Columbia Gas, suffered from some bipolar, but would be
mental, almost mental.
Yeah,
mental health.
so that's where I got involved in the mental health, because, like I said, growing up, some of my boys, we would see, our family members, they have mental health challenges, and we could understand, because we seen mania, we seen compulsive disorder, we seen some of these things, and we know how to live with it.
Well, I hate to say this, but we was blinded by a lot of mental health stigmas in society, not knowing he had a mental health disability. When grandma or grandpa or uncle was yelling at this dude, or they was treating your uncle a certain kind of way, or whispering in your ear something about your uncle, he ain't right, he's such and such, or your cousin, he a couple eggs short of a dozen, and you agree with him like, yeah, that cousin right there, stay away from him, he this or he that. And now we at this level of, when we go out here and drive around the city of Columbus, Ohio, my brother, because I'm in the mental health field now, I see so many young females and males, predominantly are black ones, because I'm in the inner city within 270, and I see them, and it's like, it's hard not to stop to try to maybe help and ask questions, because if they got a mental health issue that serious, not that it's out your hands, but it's hard to just help them at that moment, because you want to try to pull him into the programming that we have, particularly through Primary Care Solutions and different places that we partner with throughout Columbus. I mean, there's so many group homes, so many mental health facilities I'm sure we could name that are offering services. I think this is a part of the podcast where I need to go a little deeper with. There's a lot of phonies.
Oh, whole bunch.
See, I hope I ain't creeping up on you with this part of this interview, but there's a lot of phony people posing to offer services, man. Are you familiar with anything? Have you heard anything about some of these people who got phony services and ain't really helping our young people?
Yeah, there's a lot of organizations here in Columbus, Ohio, that are offering bootleg services.
You said bootleg?
Yeah, bootleg.
I used to sell bootleg CDs and tapes and movies. So hold on, but go break that down a little bit for me.
So they're promising some services. They're acting like they're gonna work with your child. They're gonna bill your child for the Medicaid services, but they're not even seeing your child, because the parents aren't present and involved, or they're not even asking questions, or they're not even advocating for the child. So they could see the child, whoever's working with them, bill for the child, bill Medicaid services, which is against the law, and basically steal the money. Your child's supposed to be getting mental health services, quality mental health services, real good mental health services. But then also working with some of our families, like my organization, when we work with families, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, I'm gonna terminate services with you, because I'm not gonna chase after you, the adult, the parent. You're not gonna be able to not show up to meetings, things like that. It's about accountability. If we want change, we have to have accountability.
See, and when you go from accountability to sustainability, comfortability, it's all mixed up. So I really wasn't even asking you that question like to attack no people specifically, because you find yourself in that situation when you know you really helping this child or not. If you really building a relationship with this person, and we got to do notes. Like, when we meet with somebody's child, there's a time where we have to each demonstration, whether it's a group or individual, we have to talk about what it is we had the meeting about. Like, what was the situation here today, and the one yesterday, and the one the day before that. What was the intervention? Like, how did we help this person? What would their response be from the intervention? And then what's our plan for tomorrow or next week? it's almost like a daily thing. This is not, you just can't have a mental health patient and you just see him once a week and he should be healed from this trauma.
No.
There's so many traumatic problems that's coming from the parental absence. And then when you think about the drugs and alcohol that plague our neighborhoods right now, I mean, I know some teenagers, they love doing drugs, they love drinking, they love smoking. And as far as the flowers and the marijuana and the weed go, I was with a brother just 24 hours ago and we was having a conversation. And they was talking about, you know, all the weed that their son would intake, a pound or two, sitting around. I mean, I hate to tell you, but that's drug abuse. That's drug abuse for anybody. Like, even when I know I used to inhale and like the sensibility and like the blunts and all that.
But they running from something.
Well, I can't lie, man. Back then when we smoked, it was like smoking to feel good for the moment, for the successful day I had. I made $3,000 a day, man. We had a celebration
session. Unwinding in the evening.
We had a session to make some new music, to use it as some type of fuel motivation, man, to make this hot record, to make this hard song, and did it. And then listen to the song like, man, we had about 9 blunts burning that time we made that song, and we're rocking this song on stages across the country, and boom. Now these young boys, young ladies, whoever it be, if they eating edibles, mushrooms, I mean, from THC, from the fake THC, from the, what's it called? K2, like this ain't even the weed we smoke. So what I'm trying to say is they almost abusing drugs like it's heroin or crack or cocaine. And I hate to say that, like for those that really smoking trees and really loving weed and flowers, do what you do. But there's people out here abusing this marijuana so much that it's almost becoming a hindrance to their growth, to where they headed.
And we got to talk about, you know, like I worked with some of the high schools. You got students coming in high
immediately.
You be like,
first thing in the morning.
You be like, what'd you win today? What you celebrating for? I mean, you high. There's something going on. You running from something, you know.
Well, it's gonna come out sooner or later. Like, see what I'm saying is, man, and it's so mentally challenging for people like me and you and all the other professionals out there, clinicians out there, psychiatrists out there, doctors out there, and people who are qualified mental health professionals who really take their time out, their real lives, to dedicate 8 to 12 hours a day to help young people. And in the high schools of Columbus, Ohio now, I'm sure that this is really major because they're closing schools as we speak. I think they're closing from 4 to 6 schools right now, ranging from elementary to middle to maybe some even high schools.
Right.
And where are they going to get this treatment if they're not involved in fathers in front of bars, stay out the streets, and all of the different organizations that I can name that's out there? Because we can help these young people, send them to a place where they can get a job.
Right.
Soon they get the check, they want to smoke some weed.
Yeah.
And if they smoking weed, they hanging with some boys that don't go to any type of group. They got these pistols, so when you hanging with the guys with guns, you want a gun to feel safe when you with them because they might have a situation going on. So this is where it starts to get real hectic for brothers like myself. As much as I advocate, I can help a person's son or somebody's nephew or somebody's daughter. Or you ain't in mental health and you got 2 sons, one want to go to college and one to sell pills or do pills.
Right.
Or have a schizophrenia diagnosis that you didn't want nobody to know about, but he's scaring your wife to death every night at home, punching holes in the wall, got a gun, waving the music blasted, smoking weed in your house after you told him not to, but you don't want to kick him out. And then when the time comes for you to kick him out, who's going to help him? So when we battle with these conversations, man, my brother James Hill, I give you props. I commend you, man, for even giving yourself the time to create your organization to really get it going. You told me you was relocating to another city, right?
State.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
You're going to another state. So to leave Ohio or Columbus, Ohio, right at this moment, what effect do you think you're going to have in another place?
Well, our whole operation is our focus is here still, Columbus, Ohio. So we have.
So this is gonna still be your headquarters.
Yeah. We're it's gonna be sustainable because right now We have the Real Sports League. We're offering this to all of the Columbus City schools, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade.
So break that down. So the fathers in front of bars is a little bit deeper than just because you ain't in prison.
Right.
You gonna offer some sports. Tell a little bit more.
So for the movement component, the Real Sports League, my wife, Dr. Amber Hill, Rodney Johnson created the Real Sports League.
Real Sports League. Y'all hear that?
Mm-hmm. So it started in, I think, Region 3 on the south side. They have the lowest poverty academic rates in all of the Columbus City schools, Region 3. They also
now we talking about their grades.
Yeah.
You talking about their GPA, their reading, and their mathematical levels is low.
And that's the south side. And the south side has the lowest resources coming in because, everything's going to what? Lending.
See, I thought it was west side. I thought the west side was the poorest and the malnourished. He said it might be the south side. So all my south side people out there, you got babies on the south side, your teenagers on the south side. They scream the south side all the time. So all jokes aside now, I thought it was the west side. So what you do? You did some statistic work on the south side?
Yeah, so we partnered with a couple schools in the Columbus City schools. Like I said before, my wife, Dr. Amber Hill, Rodney Johnson, they created the Real Sports League. What we did now is they did basketball, soccer, flag football. They offered the program free, but now we mixed in the mental health component. And we're also offering the mental health component also to the parents and guardians. So we will launch it, the basketball league, in January. I think it's going to do big things, definitely big things. So it's going to increase academic performance.
That's all I'm about to ask you.
Attendance will go up, behavior go down. So them 3 barriers in Columbus City schools, they have fixed it.
So when you introduce the sport component to
the movement,
fathers in front of bars, how and I don't want you, I guess I ain't trying to make you share your whole blueprint, but in what ways are you going to help them on an academic level? Because everybody always tell me, I got this basketball camp,
right,
I got this football camp. Listen, man, sports is beautiful. I rap. Pulling your son in to start rapping is beautiful, but typically they ain't coming in to rap about all these positive choices and when you got an athlete that's good at basketball and he can't read or write, what's gonna be your dynamic?
Well, so what we're doing is we're offering mandatory study tables. So we're treating this like a college program. Like I have 4 sons. I got one that played for the University of North Texas. So we're treating this like a college program. So they're going to have mandatory study table. They're going to have mandatory community service projects. Parents have to have a mandatory either showing up to parent-teacher conference or volunteering to school. We also will have mandatory monthly meetings with the parents, and they're going to check on the progress of the child's academic performance. So what we're doing is we're making accountability over all entities, our parents, our guardians, our children, and the schools, because the schools have to provide the reports. So we're after outcomes. We're doing treatment, yes, mental health, but we're after outcomes, change.
So, fathers in front of bars. My brother James Hill, that's what he represents today. What we want to do is just basically touch bases again now with the worth part. And again, today we from federal to incredible. This is also another podcast that my homeboy Dion, he just now met him. It was their first time meeting, shaking hands. And what they was talking about was the implementation of how we supposed to unite more. So like anytime you even get a glimpse of one of my podcasts and I'm interviewing somebody who has a different organization than mine, I'm definitely willing and learning how I can partnership with guys, ladies who have organizations that can help me with mine. Because with me meeting some young man and young lady and we tell them, I want you to make some positive choices. Well, we get ready to have these curriculums set up where we're going to have challenges with questions and situations, how you can make the positive choice versus the negative choice, and then what the positive choice will do for you versus the negative choice. So then when you come into play, now I can introduce some of my youth to your situation, so that even when we think about the academic level being low, we are trying to sustain that from here to you, so that maybe one doesn't end up in the federal penitentiary. Because see, when we start talking about the reason you started your organization, going back to what was the brother's name who went to prison?
Tasker Williams.
For the brother that's got 12 years, they come home to how old?
He'll be 62, so he makes $1.97 a day.
So for any youngsters, any of the young people that's out there, like, I was breaking this down to a young man last night. $33,257, I think, is the magic number now per year when you cop out of the workhouse or the county jail and you accept their plea or a deal or whatever crime you committed that you were guilty of. Whether you say you was innocent, you was guilty of, and the state makes this much money off of housing. I was telling a young man, just go upstairs now, go to the bathroom, eat all the White Castles you can eat.
Yeah.
Use the bathroom, bro. Excuse me. You know, we use real examples here with this. Close the door for 23 hours and just stay in there. Stay in there for 23 hours. And they said his out date was 2068. So whatever you did, young man, they gave you 54 years for riding this vehicle with these other 3 guys. 2 of y'all had weapons. Y'all wouldn't rob the store owner. Somebody was itching to kill and pull this trigger for playing all these video games, and he didn't whop this guy, put him down and shot him or paralyzed him or killed him. And they didn't charge all 3 of y'all with this crime.
And your first charge.
And 2, 3.
Your first charge.
This your first charge, the first offense. Mm-hmm. And they didn't give you 35 years. Your mom and dad raised you in the church. Your mom and dad raised you in the neighborhood where you was going to school. They was going to send you to college, but you wanted to smoke and kick it and get tattoos and party. So no, I ain't judging you. I'm just giving some mere examples on how it happens. How you end up in the state penitentiary, looking at 15, 20 years, 9, 12 years. Federal offenses, typically you're going to do 10, 12, 13, 15. What they do, 80% of their time with the feds?
Yep. And you're going to lose loved ones. Loved ones are going to pass.
Your mama going to go while you're there. Your dad might go while you're there. Your brother done got robbed, shot, and killed. Your daughter done got raped while you go. See, out of all these examples we can give, every now and then I get excited when we have these conversations because it gives us a chance to talk about some of the things that society don't tell you about that all these young people are going through. Right now they going through some stress, some terrible times, and nobody's there to tell you, man, you shouldn't do that. Now it seems like it is. It seems like grandma or your mom or your dad, but everybody don't got mom and dad now. Everybody don't have parents and uncles and aunts and cousins that care about
that community. They don't have that community.
So it's hard when, again, you come across a brother like yourself that wants to make a change for the streets or wants to make a change for this community. It's so many hoods across this city, man, that we don't never touch or tap into. I got brothers that's definitely tackling this Linden area. Right. You know, uncles of mine that been tackling this South Side area. We got mentors all over the West Side. I'm from the North End, which is Linden, but from all of these different parts of town, man, what do you think has got to happen for all of these different people we can name, all these different brothers that's been on the news, that's been interviewed? Now, we ain't on WXYX, we ain't on WCMH, we ain't on 10 TV, but this is still a very positive outlet and channel for us to get our point across. What do you think it's going to take for some of us organizations to really do this to be more effective? Do you think that's even a possibility? Is that possible? Like,
I don't know.
I
don't think it's possible. I'm being realistic.
So now, when you say it's not possible, so for anybody out there listening, I just try to throw a curveball at my brother and ask him: is it a possibility for us to unite and come together with some other organization? You say no. Why? Just tell me, man. You got to tell me why you saying you do not think this can happen. But the city of Columbus, why can't we unite with some other men, other sisters?
Because that's not their gift. Some people are after the money. That's not your gift. That's not your passion. And we can see through it. There's a lot of organizations like that. It's just not your gift. God didn't bless you with that gift. that discernment.
I mean, but before, I mean, I get that part, but I'm saying, so the question I'm asking you right now, if we got this organization, my organization. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, I done seen people partner through the city of Columbus. I've seen a lot of people partner, and I'm guilty of this. Now, I'm gonna say this. So because I'm not nonprofit, right? I always scream I'm for profit, and people say, well, you know, you can still be effective being for profit. Well, I'm very effective the way I do my demonstration, but I've never been one to try to tackle the money that the city gives one to make other things happen. Now, that might be my fault. That might be my challenge with not being able to partner with certain people just because I didn't want to deal with the city of Columbus, so to speak, not in a negative light, or because I try to keep a positive perspective on everything that I do, but because of some of the stuff I've learned and heard of, I didn't really want to go that direction and still be in the hoods and really get grassroots, really guerrilla marketing and promoting to my young people like I do. So you've been a nonprofit, me not. What's the difference?
Well, I have a nonprofit and a for-profit.
So tell me what's you know the difference.
And so I mean,
how you operate with both.
Well, our nonprofit is just strictly on donations, volunteering. The for-profit is more for we're going to charge to make some money.
So not even to go that far into nonprofit and profit.
Okay.
What I'm trying to ask you is, even though we see the city of Columbus having a lot of these people kind of partnering together and helping each other, whether we nonprofit or non-profit, how can we all unite in a way to help more youth at the same time who got all these different challenges, all these different, because you got a piece, I got a piece, our brothers keepers got a piece, Federal True Incredible may have a piece. I can keep naming a lot of different places and people that's in this city that want some things, because they say people, places, and things. They want some things to happen for our youth. But when we go into money, sometimes even with the music industry, it goes into money versus helping. Like you heard me say how much they get for
about the treatment.
We're
about the treatment. We about people getting better.
Are we? Are we really? I mean, because see what we having a conversation about right now. Do we really want to help people? Now I know we do. You do. I do.
We do. But
so I guess I'm trying to figure out, where is the interruption, man? What's stopping us from being so big to help these people that need it, where we got to ignore some? Is it because of sometimes the lack of funds? Because I got to be honest, it is sometimes for me the lack of some funds that I know I need, and then they say, man, you should be a nonprofit, so then you can just get all this money. Then when you meet people who got the nonprofit, they talk to you like, man, you really just can't use that money any way you want to. You need to do this and do that and do that and do this and do that and do that. And I said, well, man, I don't really want to do all that. I just want to. So I better get me a record. I better drop a dope record. I better get to humping, man, because I've been rapping for a long time and I haven't seen the needle go past that F for millions. And I already know the God, the Most High, Yahweh the Most Merciful, the energy that's in me, the righteousness that I really stand for, is going to grant me an opportunity where I can do.
And you just said it. You spoke it into existence.
Well, and I would just have, I had it last week, about 3 weeks ago, I had a show, Manifestation of Motherhood, Mom Figures. We said the same thing. So what we're doing is speaking into existence the things that we plan on doing. And do you have anything specific you want to mention that you got plans on doing? If you got this big bag of money and it comes, Mr. James, right by your feet, big bundles of money stacked up, what else it is that you plan on doing with Fathers in Front of Bars?
Well,
if that was the case, big bag of money right now.
For us, that doesn't matter. It's just about the treatment. So we're out here helping the youth, helping the families, restoring the families back to normalcy. That's our biggest thing. I mean, to be honest, I don't care about the money. We just got to do right by people. We got to be righteous.
This is James Hill. This is James Hill. So he gave his perspective on the money or no money. Do right by people. And see, I got to respect that. Only because now, for me to say, hey, Wallo, you just now got all this money, what you going to do differently? Well, of course, what I'll do differently is be able to expand my hands now.
Right.
Now I will be able to maybe stop doing so much things I had to do just for me to survive, to pay my bills and my utilities and the things that I know I need. So I'm gonna say, with me having this big bag of money, I'll be able to now, like, concentrating on this project. Just stay out the streets, know your value, know your worth. Organization, more or less expanding my hand to touch more bodies and get more people, and almost be able to guarantee them some income off of some of the things we set up for them. However, making them have accountability and accepting